Alright, I'm back. This time with a working microphone. My last stream unfortunately had no audio, so I deleted it. Unfortunately, that also means that all of the progress I made is missing, which is such a shame. But yeah, I expanded the image a little bit. It's very weird because whenever I look at it after a stream, I feel like, this is just a collection of individual elements. I don't really like the look of them, and then when I look at them again after some time has passed, it comes together as one image, and I start to really like it. So this one, it went more into, I think, an aquatic direction than I expected. But yeah, I really like the looks of it. I'm gonna try to expand it a little bit more. I made the canvas size now the size that the actual, I guess, image is supposed to be. That way it's on a 16:9 frame, which is the intended frame size. And I'm gonna just add a little bit more, I guess, larger objects. They don't need to be center screen, but just to make sure that I'm actually, I guess, using the screen size I have here. So I'm gonna start by just maybe, adding a few big sashes and other larger elements. Oh, I'm still drawing it with white. That's not intended. That's gonna be an issue if I decide to fill in the blanks. Alright, it shouldn't look like a continuation of the face. I also increased my opacity a little bit so that I can make lines with fewer individual strokes, or make thick lines with fewer individual strokes, which I think is going to work well on the background like that. So yeah, I'm really hoping that I probably won't be able to make it come together today, but I'm hoping to make a lot more progress by just using a few larger elements and then bringing them together with smaller, intricate design pieces. I've talked about a lot of stuff in the last stream where I was muted. Very exciting stuff, but yeah, I think the main thing is just that whenever I look at this, I feel quite bad about it, because I feel like, it doesn't look the way I imagined it would look. And I kind of have to force myself to step away from it and then look at it after some time. I feel the same when I'm writing something, that I usually really, I guess, struggle to really like what I'm writing. And then it takes maybe a few months, sometimes years, for me to come back to it and be like, holy shit, that's actually genuinely like really nice. I'm surprised I wrote that. So yeah, I'm just gonna add a few larger, maybe wisps. When I was working on this last time, yesterday I think, I was thinking about how it would look genuinely quite nice with smoke, but I'm not good enough to really draw smoke in a way that is believable. So unfortunately I have to just look for other elements, but I think, let me continue that somewhere here. I think I like the current, I guess it's a very doodling style. It doesn't need to continue exactly there, so let's make this teeter out or fade out a little bit. Maybe like this. So yeah, most of the face is done, which is, to me, always the very scary part, because faces are very hard. I didn't end up with the expression I was thinking it would become. I was kind of expecting it to be maybe more serious, less, I guess, incredulous than it's currently looking. But I'm happy with it. I don't know how I made this. I couldn't replicate the expression because it's very much dependent on what I did with the eyebrows, which kind of just happened to look very raised. But yeah, I kind of like it. The problem is whenever I try to move the things now, the expression changes so drastically that it doesn't look like the same object anymore. Or the same character, I guess. Alright, I'm gonna just add a few elements to make it look less bland. Nope, definitely not like that. I think drawing has been really weird for me, because I used to draw, I guess not a lot, but at least a lot more when I was younger. Then I stopped for 15 to 20 years. And now I still remember some parts, but I'm definitely a lot worse at it. So I know what it's supposed to look like, but I don't know how to get there. Like all the little strokes that you're supposed to do, the helping lines that then come together, like the upper side of the eye that I did yesterday, is something that I'm not really sure how to do. I kind of forgot that adding this just adds so much to the expression, but when I did it, I just changed the entire look of it. I can try to quickly cover it just to see what it looked like without. I'm just going to use a white cover. Let me just... Okay, my opacity is... I need to be less opaque. Come on. There we go. Oh yeah. So roughly like this. And I think there's a big difference between the two. It just looks incomplete without it now. That's crazy. Alright, back at it. The crown part is the really daunting part, because I just don't know what elements to put in there. I don't know what would be a nice shape to add. And because it's supposed to be very abstract, very large, very, I guess, larger than life, yeah, it ended up looking a little bit aquatic yesterday. So I'm just gonna continue adding shapes. We will add one shape that comes out of here. Oh, I'm back to a completely different pen. I don't want that. I want my slightly opaque one. Alright, just like this. Just something. Yeah, it's very much a doodling style, I guess. Alright, it looks like I'm adding another sash. The problem is my drawing tablet doesn't quite extend over the entirety of the screen, because the drawing tablet is a little bit small, so I tried to only limit it to part of the screen so that I don't have to move too much to reach elements that I want to reach, but then that also means that I guess I'm having issues when I reach the edge of the screen because I can't see the edge of the drawing tablet. I might just leave this element only on this side. I've been trying to, I guess, be a lot more yeah, I've been trying to mirror what I added, but I think this is just the edge of the tablet. I always end up being just a few pixels short. Yeah, quite like this as well. Alright, what minor element, what tendril can I add next? I'm just gonna add a few more of these larger pokey things. So kind of maybe, oops, not like that. Starting from here. I think that merges a little bit too good. Oh, I don't know what I did there. I somehow found the button combination to move the entire layer. Alright, that looks kind of nice. Now the same thing, or roughly the same thing on the other side. And once again, because I end up not knowing what I'm drawing, I end up following what feels really comfortable for my hand to move, at least direction-wise. And then it ends up being slightly uncomfortable to mirror the exact same thing on the other side. So here, oh, that's a bit heavy. So yeah, here, this sort of direction for my hand to go for kind of feels very uncomfortable. Feels almost a bit crampy. Whereas obviously the other side, I just followed what felt nice with my hand. Which is weird because the entire thing will end up being very much, I guess, doodling what feels super easy and comfortable for my hand to do. And it's only when I try to mirror things that I then have to actually consider what feels nice for my hand. And you can see that the elements that are to the right side of the screen very much, I guess they're a lot more slanted, whereas the left side of the, I guess, face. The left side of the face is a lot more upright, because just for my hand when drawing, I would need to use my left hand to then do the exact same motions with that my right hand did. But yeah, I wonder what that looks like once the entire thing is finished. I'm definitely not gonna change that, because with the headdress being kind of organic, I'm fine with that being slightly uneven. I think I'm gonna layer these sashes a little bit, so I'm gonna maybe add one big one more, and then I'm gonna see what if it comes together once it's all finished. So maybe make another one that comes down from top. Once again, I'm exactly drawing the lines and shapes that feel really comfortable to do with my... I don't like it cutting this one exactly. That then feels a little bit... Obviously this happens in nature, that something intersects exactly, but whenever I'm drawing it feels like it should be more random. And more random is then the not exact match, which I assume is just a incorrect approach, but it's one that then I guess it makes it feel less random by actually trying to make something more random than it should actually be. I think this is converging too quickly, so let me just, yeah, continue like this. Then I can add another helping line on this sash, just to give it a little bit more texture. Yeah, I kind of like these larger elements. I was a bit scared to do big things last time, also because I wasn't quite sure what the entire screen size was going to be. But like this, I think it looks perfectly fine. Alright, let me just add a few big elements up center. I think the bubble motif was something that I am kind of leaving out a little bit. So I'm just gonna add a few growing bubbles on top. It's really hard to do a circle in kind of individual strokes. Maybe this is easier. Oh, that is a lot better, yeah. Doesn't look that great, but it's kind of the sketching thing that I really want. Yeah, I might grow to like this when I stop staring at it this intently. Maybe this diverges? Oh, maybe this becomes a sash as well. So maybe it goes like this. Yeah. All right, now it's almost, oh, if I can make this less going out, it almost looks like the one on the right is curving back in. Kind of like that idea. All right, yeah, that looks kind of nice. I'm quite happy with that. Time to make small bubbles. Do I want one that's just a dot? Yeah, I think I'm fine with this. So yeah, I'm not adding a lot of shading. I think a lot of the shading I will add after coloring it. So that way I have a little bit more control. I know which parts are going to be dark and which ones are going to be light. I think it's... I don't yet know if I'm going to do the shading with the same pen or if it's going to be completely flat colors. I'm going to have to try that out. Maybe try it a little bit, see how it looks. Ooh. At this point I'm getting close to it being so convoluted that there isn't really something that feels super empty, which was actually the point I want to get to. So currently I wouldn't know which parts are, I guess, solid and which parts are background, which is nice. I guess whenever I don't know what to do, I could just add another big sash. Maybe this one needs to split a little bit. I don't know if this feels right or wrong. Maybe this one is one that starts out here and then becomes larger as it goes in. It's going to be more of a background sash, I assume. Oh, this is really not a curvature that my hand likes to draw. Ooh. And now I don't know what part is... I guess that part should be solid, so just like this is fine. And the top part is just layered. It should be layered below everything else. Oh, that's too close. I want to open it a little up a little bit. So like this. I think yesterday when I drew the first few lines, I thought it looked a little bit like the Mantis character from Marvel. But I think like this, it's already grown quite far away from that. It actually starts to look a little bit more like Kiora from Magic the Gathering, which I assume every aquatic thing with a kind of aquatic crown piece will look like. Alright, let's see where I can add here. I think the left side here is a little bit empty. I might just stop with doing symmetrical stuff and just do stuff that just happens. Although maybe it's a little bit early to start with that. Maybe I just have to do a little bit more of trying to replicate my lines on the other side. I think starting on this side makes it a little bit easier, because then following it with my right hand, following more natural lines, might be simpler. I'll see. Oh yeah, this is now gonna intersect the sash a little bit. That's gonna be nice. That's gonna be some breaking up of the symmetry, at least a little bit. Oh, I'm very much in between everything. Alright, kind of is like this. This one is a lot shorter, a lot more stubby as a curve, which I guess I'm fine with. Oh. Perfect. Just like it's supposed to be. Yeah, I noticed a very stark difference to a drawing when I was younger, because I would always attempt to draw things perfectly on the first try. And obviously doing that is very, very difficult, because looking at one single element, I think you can see that with this one especially, the one on the bottom left here, I would just spend so much time on the face, on each individual stroke, and I think especially like the nose part here, I redid maybe 40, 50 times, just trying to get a stroke I'm really happy with, especially because here the lower part is with more pressure, so I started very softly and then knew that I wanted it to be bigger exactly at that point, and that just took forever. And I think just going with it, it's certainly a lot more enjoyable to draw. I'll have to see if that's actually also then more enjoyable to look at eventually. I think I'm gonna do something that kind of imitates shoulders, even though I'm not gonna add actual shoulders. So kind of like a flowing band here that then extends a little bit. Oh, this is the end of my drawing tablet. It does not want to continue like this. Yeah, like this. This is perfect. Roughly what I was looking at. And I guess I can make at least this element fairly thin. Like this. have it curved back in. I could even lay another one just below that crosses it. Kind of looks like, I mean, all of it looks like tendrils coming off of this person or face. I think if I was confident that I could draw and also especially color in smoke really well, I would try to do this very, I guess, dissipating the rest of the head into smoke. But I don't think I can do that in a way that I would be happy with. Alright, now I'll continue one of them on the other side, the other one I'll just assume that it's vanishing on the other side. So let's make it like this, and then it's gonna also kind of merge with this one up here. Just like that. Because this one is a sash, it is gonna stay roughly the same width. Don't need this to converge like most of the other things do. Just like that. Alright. I think I want a slight element here, make this centerpiece look a little bit more busy. I'm just gonna go for one of those pokey things. I don't know why I really like this shape, but with the rest here, it's kind of, I guess it's become a motive a little bit. Yeah, this time I definitely don't need to repeat that on the other side. I think I want this to continue through here. Yeah, and then something else is behind this, but I'm not gonna have to draw it out because it's something that doesn't exist beyond this point. If I do something that starts there, it's gonna be a bit difficult. I'm just gonna go for this. Kind of a little bit sinewy, so I'm not sure if I'm at least in elements here adding something that is more meaty or planty. I think these bulbous appendages are definitely a lot more planty than meaty. I always have to look at it a little bit from very far, just to refocus my eyes a little bit and figure out where there's something missing. So I think I'm just going to focus drawing on this side a lot more, because this is definitely getting the least love. Presumably because it's the side that feels less natural to curve towards with my hand. Ooh, maybe something like this could be an element. So almost the bulbous nature again, but this time vanishing toward, or I guess curving in on itself. Oh, maybe that is too thin. No, this is getting too wide. I feel kind of the pressure of then continuing this up here, so maybe if we make this follow a somewhat natural course. Yeah, roughly here, it enters back in. Ooh, that's difficult. Maybe I dislike this. But yeah, I don't like getting rid of elements because I know that that's just gonna fall back into me being overly critical of every move. And I think in the end, it kind of looks nice the way I draw it originally. So I'm just gonna power through. If I don't like an element, maybe I'm gonna like it later on, and I can always remove it later on. I'm gonna make these a little bit more textured. Maybe slightly more textured. No, maybe I'm not doing this. This feels a little bit off or weird. Yeah, I'm still missing parts on this side. So let me just do more shapes. That doesn't need to be something that is recognizable as a physical thing. It just needs to be something that's there. Just like this. And I'm gonna do 2 lines. I don't want them to look like just a bunch of lines. Maybe 2 lines next to each other looks off again. Maybe it needs to be more something like this, where they happen to intersect each other, but don't follow from the same origin. Yeah. Oh, I quite like this. It's getting very machine-heady. I assume there's some sort of, I guess, cyberpunky or sci-fi future-y element to this. Surely there's a Star Trek character that looks somewhat similar. Kind of an aquatic being that yeah, an aquatic being. That's it. That's the end of the sentence. So let me, I think I'm gonna add 1 or 2 more big elements right now to make sure that I have enough big stuff to I guess stabilize myself. Otherwise I'm gonna be too lost in these very small elements. So I guess maybe something that extends, that goes towards the bottom here. I can't draw on the really big thing like that because my drawing tablet doesn't extend that far. I'm still getting used to the drawing tablet not being used like a trackpad, but it being more of a replica of the entire screen. It's gonna be another sash again. Because it always ends up being. Oh. So something like this. I'm just trying to extend it too far here. That's not what I want. I want it to be small and petite. That's what I would describe a sash at, definitely. And I guess I can make this curve in a little bit. So kind of extending here. Oh, I'm reaching the top end of my drawing tablet. Like this is much better. Perfect. I have to figure out how I do the this curve part. Maybe I'm going for more Oh. Maybe something like this, where it folds over itself. I definitely will need to add a lot more texture to it. Otherwise it might look weird. And I guess I went with the kind of expanding theme. So let me expand this bottom part a little bit as well. It's now intersecting a lot of other elements. I think it's fine. Oh, it's gonna come back down here. I see. Nah, those are a little bit too far apart. Yeah, this looks fine. I think this part needs maybe a few more elements that kind of show that this is a three-dimensional one. So kind of something like this. No, that's not following the correct lines. Maybe closer to this. And then I can add another one. Kind of comes down here. Like this. Looks good enough. I might do another one here, just to make sure that there's more texture to be seen. Maybe one here. Oh yeah, now this part is missing one or two, but I quite like the looks of it now. It's very weird even when coloring something, because I used to want to have it look basically perfect even before it was colored. And then later on I realized that when you color something, through shadowing and through coloring, you change it up so much that it looks totally different. I think in these two cases I went very much with a I guess line drawing, and I guess not line drawing, but the left side is more of a colored line drawing and the right side is definitely just not colored, and the top parts are not mine anyway. But yeah, I think if we would imagine this Gris, for example, as just a black and white drawing, there's a lot of character that's in the lines and in the colors and in the shading that is missing when you don't have those. I think this one down here needs a little bit of extra help, some helping lines. Maybe like this. All right. Yeah, now definitely there is something missing, because currently it feels like the head is slightly incomplete. So I'm just gonna draw a few more elements here. Maybe something that meets up with these small droplets. Just like that. Maybe another droplet element in here. Why not? We're going wild. Perfect. Just like I wanted it. Ooh, this side is a lot... Okay, it's supposed to be behind here, but I think it's being too bulgy. Maybe it's supposed to just end like this. Maybe curve down a little bit more. Yeah, I think that's fine now. When in doubt, just add more tentacles. Oh, we could do crossing tentacles. So we could do ones that start on the other side, extend towards the left or right in this case. I don't want to go wide too quickly because it's supposed to be more on this side. So maybe like this. And then I can do another one and I can make it very much not mirrored. So I can kind of show that these thingies are waving. Maybe this one also stays on this side. It goes behind the bubbles. But yeah, it's also deciding to stay here. Ooh. Yeah, this is very much being an underground aquatic crown of sorts. Underground aquatic maybe doesn't make too much sense, but this is... I guess there are elements in games where there are sometimes these deep caves that have very, I guess, fungal-rich life. It seems to be kind of a theme that is repeated at least in some areas. I know that in Skyrim there's this underground cave that has these, I think, glowing mushrooms of sorts and other things that you can kind of stumble into. And yeah, this is now... This looks very similar to that, but then also it has obviously a lot of aquatic elements. Like if I drew a fish that swam through the image, it would fit right in. Can I maybe do... I don't want too many upper tentacles here, so maybe I'm gonna just add something else that's really large that is coming out of the head. Not necessarily a wisp of smoke, but something, another sash, I guess. These sashes are... I guess my help, since smoke is not really in my wheelhouse, I wouldn't really know how to texture it. Like I know that you can kind of, like if you want to make a plume of smoke, yeah, I wouldn't know how to texture smoke. Smoke I think is very difficult because it's mostly, I feel like it's mostly color based and not a lot of line based. So yeah, I'm quite happy with sashes, maybe other elements. Maybe there's gonna be something. Maybe there's gonna be something in front of this one. Maybe I'm gonna do something like a halo of sorts. Oh, let me think about this. If I'm gonna do this on a new layer because it's gonna be a little bit drastic. But if I draw something not like this, something like this, no. If I wanted to draw something like a big ring element around the head, I assume it would go somewhat like this, roughly. Maybe I need to be closer to be able to draw the lines more distinctly. Oh. Oh, I'm struggling. No, this is fine. Is it? I think I'm starting to lose a sense of curvature. Alright. And here I want to come in less extreme, so I want to still be somewhat on the upper side of this. And then curve down and very quickly return. And the return is going to be behind everything. And now I can make it a little bit, I guess, rounded by just doing something like this. Maybe that looks... No, that doesn't look correct. Maybe I have to start on the outside. Like if I wanted to make it quite thin here, quite thick in this area, then what would feel natural here? Something like this. Not converging too much, but roughly like this. I think this looks fine. A bit sad that it covers a lot of these other elements, so maybe at least some of them are going to be in front of it. For now I can just make it go through everything because I'm on a different layer, so I don't have to worry about being mean to my other elements. I can just be rough. Oh, that one is not what it was supposed to be. I'm getting to the edge of the tablet, I think, so I have to be... Alright. I think I quite like this now. I'm gonna have to play around a little bit with how it is, what elements it is in front of and what elements are behind it. But I think... Okay, let's go through. I think most of the tentacles, maybe this one should be behind it, but the other ones should be in front of it. So I can just add that like this. Oh, perfect. And then going onto the background layer, I can kind of remove this one. I guess the bubble... I have to look at it on a larger size again. The bubbles, I want to be in front of it, because I quite like the bubbles. So let me remove the rim of the halo here. And let's get rid of it here as well. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I really like this now. I think this one is going to be behind it. So let's get rid of it here. Oh, I forgot that. The kind of droopy tentacle here is also part of the same layer. So like this. And yeah, I don't have to worry about making the parts that are like making it go around fully, because in the end it's going to be behind almost every other element, so I don't have to bother with actually tracing it out. Oh, this is where my drawing tablet ends, so let me just scooch over a bit. Yeah, quite like this. I think with a lot more shading and coloring, you could make it a lot thinner as well, again. So yeah, quite like this. All right, let's continue on. I'm gonna stay on this upper layer just for now. And maybe there should be at least a little bit of texture to this. Maybe if I do something like, oh, once again, edge of the screen here. So like this. I think I just hit the microphone quite bad. No, this is wrong. If I draw a line like this, it has to end here. Yeah, this is giving, it's giving the halo actually a little bit of texture, which is weird. So yeah, everywhere where it kind of intersects, I then want to have the same, I guess, stylistic element of these two lines. Just to show that we're still on the same. Yeah, this is fine. I'm gonna add part of it here as well. I don't want to make the line continue through all of it. Yeah, this looks good. Quite happy with the, I guess, amount of sashes we have going on here. I don't know why this one is just stopping here. Yeah, it can continue like this. Then we'll just add some other things in the background. I think we can do one of the normal sashes. Oh, maybe this one is one that also flukes over a bit. So kind of coming out like that. And then having it. Oh. Do we need to start here to make it? Yeah. Maybe like this. Maybe this is where I want to be. Shape-wise. Actually, where would this continue naturally? It might be slightly intersecting there, and everything else is fine. I think in the center this is now a little bit too wide, so something like this would be more reasonable. Roughly like this. I think this is fine. Okay. Oh. There's always the one message per stream where someone is advertising cheap viewers, and I always have to ban the same or not the same person. I guess it's always a different bot. But at least it's the one message I get every time. Okay, let's make some extending tentacles over here. I'm a bit... I always really want to do very large elements, because then that covers a lot of the area I still have to fill. But I have to make sure that I'm not cutting too many corners like that. Oh, this is a very hairy one. Let me make this slightly more in line with the other ones. No, not like this. It's supposed to come off of this, and then be bulbous, and go back in. Just like this. Perfect. Maybe we can do another sash coming down from the top. Just something, some other element to add. It's very much a doodling thing, but I'm not very good at doodling, so I'm running out of things to doodle and add into it. Like obviously if I was just doodling normally, I might want to add like a chessboard or a checkered element in here. Oh, maybe only this here and one here. I think the big one here needs a little bit more of the very same two elements. Maybe one here as well. Yeah, this is making it a lot more fabric-like. Needs one more down here. Perfect. Alright. If I needed to continue this somehow, I think once again the left side here of the face is very much missing in elements. So let me just... Maybe it needs a sash of itself. Or kind of like a large bulb. Maybe we'll add a large bulb first and then a sash going through it. Something like this. I think this needs to expand a little bit more. So like this. Where do I anchor this? I guess it's anchored somewhere behind this other tentacle. So it's fine like this. And a nice sash. First coming in from the side, maybe resting behind the face. I make it quite wide, so that way it covers a lot more area. I'm always worried that I make elements that cover too many other elements, or too few other elements that look like they're kind of floating in front of everything. But I guess the more elements I add, the more there are actual elements behind it, and I just have to think about that I'm drawing from the foreground to the background. So everything I draw into the background is then in the foreground of many other things that I then add. So let's do it like this. Beautiful. And some edges on the far end here. Nope. Nope, this one doesn't look the way it's supposed to. I guess it's already quite thin at this point, so I need to show that it is going wider. And now it wants something on the top as well. Maybe something like this. No. What does this look like? I assume, oh, because it continues in the background, I have to kind of be mindful of how it continues in the background. So maybe something like this. I think this is fine. It might look unreasonable right now. It looks a little bit maybe strange, but I'll get over it. Alright, more bulbs, more things. I think at this point I'm getting close to where I can just add elements without thinking too much about how they end up or start, because they're just going to be there. Maybe we can do oh, this one is a very meager anemic bulb. Something like this here. And then slowly expanding towards here, so that at this point I don't have to worry about it anymore. This one is actually a sash, so it's getting a little bit of texture. I'm gonna add a few more bubble elements, just randomly in different places, because I think I'm kind of missing a few right now. And I think elsewhere I've kind of... Have I decided that they are always vertical, or are they... No, they're kind of following the flow sometimes. So this one is just going to follow the flow. It's going to continue up here, and it's going to continue behind here actually. And behind here. Oh, maybe this needs to be a little bit bigger. Somewhat like this. Just perfect. Alright, up here there are a few missing. I'm gonna make some bubbles come out from behind the sash. So maybe like this. Oh, and maybe these ones are slowly emerging. Kind of curving towards the side. Obviously, I won't be able to show them because they're now behind the halo. There's definitely room for bubbles here. Ooh. Yeah, I quite like this. Now we can make them a little bit larger. Like this. And I guess I can almost treat them like sashes where they continue and then slowly become smaller again. Like this one will just run out towards the top here. Just slowly, oh, that's too far apart. Slowly teeter out. And then we can do, because I'm really going with this underwater motif, and I think when coloring them in, I can definitely do some this thing where they get the kind of bubble shine. I don't need to add that now. I don't think I need to add that in with black strokes. Different strokes for different bubbles. Ooh, yeah, I quite like this water element now. And I think the sashes should be kind of red. I feel like they would be nice in red. So big bubble here. Big bubble. Big furry bubble for some reason. Just... yeah, basically I'm just doodling the background here. And I might need to cover some of this, because obviously it's supposed to be a pause screen. I want maybe to have a message of be right back. Maybe this one has some smaller bubbles following it. maybe some up there as well. Yeah, I think if I just add a lot more bubbles as elements into this, that's gonna be really, it's gonna look really neat. I'm kind of following this look of the crown. I don't know if these bubbles are supposed to be then actually colored like bubbles, like bluish with reflecting whatever the background is. I guess I'm gonna get to that when I get to that. I don't need to decide right now. The more I look at it, the more happy I'm getting with it. Like, it started off very daunting because even though I'm just doodling in the background, it feels like I have to decide each stroke very distinctly. I have to say, oh, this one is gonna be I don't know, this type of element, this one's will have to be matching or merging into that. And I think it's quite hard to then just like do a stroke like this and not justify it with anything. Like not say, oh, this is actually the other side of this. Which, okay, just to force myself, I'm just gonna add this stroke and not justify it. Maybe we do on this side. Again, this is not the justification of the previous stroke. That's a different one. Do something like this. Then we can do some more bubbles here. Let's just stick with the motif I've identified. This area is very bubble free right now. That's not gonna stay like that. Let me add a few. Big bubble. Smaller bubble. Tiny bubble. Tiny bubble here? Why not? I'm trying to remember what I did when I was drawing this. I think I probably was listening to the Terra theme from Final Fantasy, because it looks very Final Fantasy inspired. Obviously, I don't know what I did there. It has been a solid 10 years. No, probably more. I probably drew that around 2010. So it's more like 16 years. Maybe 2015. No, 2015 is too soon. 2015 I was already busy doing, never touching my drawing tablet again. There was a time when I tried to do a lot of, I was playing a lot of D&D, and I tried to draw my own D&D characters, which sometimes worked really well. I should have a bunch of pixel artwork still lying around, where I then tried to do, because I was so non-confident in my ability to actually draw nice looking things, that I was like, okay, I need to do pixel artwork, because pixel artwork is a lot easier to work with. I don't have to pretend like I'm able to do something grand if I just allude to it. And with pixel artwork, that felt a lot more doable. And I think I was really good at it. I only did a few pieces, but I think it looked really nice. Obviously it was only individual characters. I think when pixel artists do like background or scenic stuff, that looks insanely cool. Also insanely complicated. And yeah, I definitely didn't do any of that. I think especially lighting in like pixel art scenes or landscapes is always so impressive. Alright, just bubble. follow this up with a smaller bubble and a tiny bubble. All right. Yeah, I think the bubble motive I really like here. The sash motive I like. I mean, everything I'm adding here I'm growing quite fond of as it comes together. I have to make sure to not overdo it with the bubbles, but who knows, maybe that also looks fine. Now some of these are more like crystals or diamonds that are kind of these ones that are not really following the upwards direction. Maybe even this row of bubbles to the side, while others are definitely just groups of bubbles. I think when I started this, I wanted to look a lot more mechanical and a lot less biological, but I mean, I'll take it. In the end, it's a product I'm quite happy with, so why not? Oh, I'm not allowed to scroll down, so let me slowly move next to the mouth. And I have the big menacing mouth right in front of me. And then I just add a few tiny boublés. Just like that. Alright, I think I'm good with bubbles for now. Especially in the center here, I'm at the point where I then just need to add a few shapes and lines. Here maybe I have to think of some actual elements still to go into it, but maybe there's just going to be a few more sashes. Who knows? Maybe that's going to be good enough. Oh, I guess I have to think about how I treat the bubbles, if they show what's behind them or if they're just solid elements, almost like crystals floating instead of actual bubbles. I might only have to worry about that once I start coloring this in. Yeah, I guess for now I'm fine with them like they are. And I'm gonna think about how to treat them later on. We can do another one right here. I think I haven't done one that was just running out in a while. So let's do it like this. And then make it kind of unclear whether this is a leaf that turns around or if it's the one that continues. I guess calling it a leaf already alludes to that. I think it looks very leaf-like. I think here we could add a few more helping lines. Oh yeah, this is the same one that goes all the way down here, I think. So let me just continue this thematically a little bit. Yeah, okay, I'm quite happy with that right now. It might not need that much more. If I'm making the background very background-like, it might not need that many more elements. I kind of want to fill the center space, but I think especially the right and the left, they can kind of stay like they are. I don't have to fill them in. So I'm just going to focus on this exact area here. Maybe add a few more bulbs, like maybe there's a sash running through here. that then allows for a bulb to kind of stick out. Oh, I accidentally made that into a loopy bulb. Do I like this? Bit unsure about this. But it's an element I added. I'm just gonna leave it as it is for a little bit and see if I grow fond of it. Maybe there's a bubble below it. Maybe that helps. There should be another sash here. I'm basically just now looking for areas that seem a little open and then filling in stuff. So they're just going to be random lines. Sometimes like this sash, a real element going through it. I'm just going to force myself to add lines in other places that I don't have to explain. This is just a line that follows and vanishes into nothingness. Maybe another bulb somewhere? Mayhaps? Maybe a bubble. Maybe there's a bubble looking out right here. A happy little bubble. Oh, and there's one right here. Who knew? We found it. We found the bubble. I feel a strong Bob Ross energy coming up. Oh, very nice. Okay. I like this as it stands here. Now I just have to add a few more elements. Nothing big, but I want to have something added to the rest of it. It just needs to be filled in. I don't need it to be super complex. I just need it to look busy. Obviously, I don't want it to be so busy that it looks, I guess, off. Ooh, that was weird. That one drew about half a second after I actually drew it. No, that one's too much. Yeah, and especially at this point, just adding single lines is probably for the best. Maybe something like this as well. Double line. Where does it start? Where does it go? We don't know. Nice one up here, or down there, I guess. Another nice one coming from the bottom. Let's see if I zoom out. Yeah, this looks very good. I just have to... Now it looks like I'm missing a little bit up here, behind the crown, or behind the halo. So I'm just gonna add a bunch of elements up here. Maybe there's a really high tentacle bulbous thing. Maybe it's coming up here. It's the highest reaching bulb in the vicinity. Yeah, I think at the end I'm gonna have to zoom out a little bit to see if I like the distribution of, I guess, messiness. Like of areas where there are a lot of elements and of areas where there are maybe not enough elements. But I'm gonna take my time. I'm just gonna do it area by area now. And maybe in the end I feel like, oh, there's too much or not enough in a specific area, and then I'll deal with that at that point. So let's add a bunch more just smaller elements. Oh, I don't remember what I was planning with this line. Maybe this was also a sash? Maybe it was a sash just hanging out. And it is allowed to. And then this one can just maybe teeter out a little bit. Maybe it stops here. There are not that many that just stop in places yet. Oh look, it's just a random wild line. This one is also just a blade of grass somewhere. Let's see. Does this look fine? I think I'm gonna stop here. I think I like the way it currently looks. I'm gonna make sure to I'm gonna duplicate those layers and save them for now, so that if I feel like I want to come back to it, I can. I think it's gonna look a little bit odd for a second here. And now, okay, I should do a little bit of housekeeping. I'm gonna group those layers as the sketch. And then I can add another group of layers that's gonna be the coloring layers. It might not be something I continue all that long today. But maybe I get really excited by it. Alright, color-wise. I think I'm just gonna start with something and then I'm gonna see if it works, how it works. I think it's gonna be fine if I just color the entire thing. One color first, and then see where I go from there. Which color do I really like? Like dark turquoise is one that I am quite fond of. So let's color everything in dark turquoise. Ooh, I like this, okay. Oh, I'm kind of opaque, I guess. What does it look like if I make it fully? Oh, maybe this is wrong. Did I prefer the previous version? I think I did. So I'm gonna merge these layers. That way it's like it is. I think it should be a full layer. So there's no white in the background anymore. If I remove this, it's going to be transparent. And then let's see. Let's start with the important things. What colors should the eyes be? And I think I'm going to go back to the 30 with opacity 70. That way I can do some slight shading even right now. What color eyes? What color do the other... Oh, I have to select a color here. Let me remove this. What colors do I like? I think something that fits well with blue is maybe some orangey tone. Like this. Let's see if I can make something nice out of this. Because the eyes always have this, I guess, ring pattern. I can kind of do this. I'm drawing on a layer behind the colors, so that way I'm not behind the lines, so that way I don't have to worry about going over them. Yeah, I think this is an interesting color. I'm gonna do another layer in the background of this that I will color. Oh, maybe I shouldn't do another color. I've always been kind of intrigued how it looks like when you do multiple layers of the same color on top of each other, kind of like you would do in an actual painting. And I think this might look quite cool. I have to make sure that... Ooh, I guess I should make sure that I use the same for both eyes. So let me quickly give this one the same orange treatment. I just want to go clockwise, get the same idea of eyes that I got on the other side. I think the iris is that. I want to show that I get the texture of the iris like that. And then towards the center I want to get always get a little bit darker. So this one is just gonna extend around the halfway line. Like this. And then I can do a slightly darker one. That goes more towards the center. I'm gonna have to look at this from further apart, further away, and probably also after a while, to see if this actually looks neat or if it's just a little bit too much. Do I do one more? I'm gonna do one more with I guess very dark brown, since orange and black always end up being slightly brown. Ooh, yeah, I quite like this. Now the, I guess, inside of the eye looks a little bit frayed, which is very weird. Ooh, I like this. I like this very much. I'm gonna, let me name this layer color. And then I'm gonna add a highlight layer. Highlight. So that I can then, like, what highlights do I want? Am I in the right layer? Oh, right. I'm below the sketch. So let me just, if I do something like this for the eyes, oh, it immediately looks wild. It looks very intense. Oh, I like this a lot. Is this what eyes should look like? Does this look good? Maybe I have to make it slightly larger even. Let's see, what happens if I do it like this? Do I like this more? I think I do. Oh, this looks so weird because it's just this person staring back at me. I'm gonna make sure to make multiple color layers so that way I don't interrupt myself. So let me color the rest of the eye white. Maybe the eyes shouldn't be white. I know that white is usually the color for eyes, but if we look at real eyes, they're not usually white. They're more, I guess, beige white. What is beige? Just a shade of yellow, I assume. Maybe a shade of orange? Other than I'm going very... Oh, this one is fine. Maybe you are beige. That said, obviously, I could also make the eyes a lot more like a completely different color. After all, this isn't a real character. So I think if maybe I'll do that later. Maybe I decide to do it after a while. I want to make sure to at least cover the blue here. Add this on the other side as well, and then I'm going to remove the overspill. I made this layer over the layer of the eyes, so currently I'm drawing over the eyes. I think maybe if I put this below the color of the eyes, I should be fine actually. Yeah. So that way I can extend my lines a little bit into the eyes and still be okay. And I think the eyes having like these currently slightly blue elements, they don't need to stay blue. I can make them a little bit more white. Then with the white I can do a little bit of shading as well. So for the upper areas here I want to be slightly more dark anyway. I don't know if I would like the shading like this. This is very, I guess, almost oil painting shading. I'm gonna try something else. Oh, I have to control that a lot of different lines here. I'm shocked it let me control that like 70 lines. I'm gonna do a shade layer under the highlight area. Shade. And I'm gonna do the shade with opacity, let's say 30. Let's see how that changes things. Yeah, that way I can kind of layer the shade. And maybe 30 is even a little bit too much for now. I'm still gonna do it like this. No, maybe 30 is too much. Maybe I'm just gonna worry about the shade later on. Now it's just coloring, maybe highlighting. Next thing, the skin. If I look at the other layers here, skin is very much skin color. But I don't think this is I don't think this works well with skin color. So I'm gonna do another color layer. I'm just gonna try out a few things. I'm gonna go back to the previous. I guess these are both 30%. I want the 46 one. Actually, no, I'm gonna do an opacity 100 thing. And I'm gonna just quickly basically color the entire face. I'm gonna do that with the mouse. And I'm gonna, I don't know, let me select a random color. So I'm gonna take a very strong red, so that way I can see everywhere where I'm missing elements. Obviously the teeth and the lips might not need to be actually the same color. Basically I just want to, before I start coloring with my pen or with my brush tool, I want to just quickly get a sense of what color is right for this one. So I'm just going to color it one way first, and then move a little bit through different colors and see which one works best with the It's not even with the design or with the background, just which one works best with the general vibe I've got going on. I think it's a very much vibe-based decision here. I mean, maybe red is the correct color. Like, it looks a little bit strong right now, obviously, because it's just a plain red, no coloring, no pen strokes visible. Let me just fill this in first. I'm still using a slightly smaller pencil shape, and I'm sure there would be an easier thing with like fill all or fill area. But since I'm just experimenting here, I'm also fine just doing it a little bit inefficient. Yeah, I think skin-wise, everything that isn't skin tone. Maybe blue. There's a lot of avatar that's blue, but everything that isn't skin tone or blue is very underutilized. And maybe red is just the color to be. Let me color in the ears and the throat as well, and just to make, like, I don't need to be super precise with it, I just want to get a general idea of it. Just like this. Ooh, looks exciting already. I think I have a white stroke here, accidentally, that I left on the pencil or on the line layer. I might have to deal with that eventually. All right, and now for the magic. If I go adjustments, I think it's hue saturation. Yeah, I can try out everything, every different color. All right, so green, that's too strong. Yellow, I also don't like. I think this is almost too skin colory. Then I have very stark reds. I have pink, which honestly also looks kind of nice. Purple. Blue is a little bit too much background. And teal. Teal looks fine. But I think I almost am now of the opinion that teal is a little bit too generic. So I kind of like this kind of color. I'm gonna go with it for now. I can always, if I need to, change it later on and move away from a more, I guess, red color. I can always modify the colors I have selected. But I think red could be really exciting. So let me go back to, and I'm gonna make it with the same brush I had previously. So this 46%. Like this one. Am I gonna do the entire thing with this color and this brush? Maybe, yeah. Maybe that's just what I got to do. This is gonna take forever. Can I allow myself to maybe be a little bit more? What about a 90 size brush? Yeah, I'm still getting color idea. I don't want to move too many layers on top of each other, because then it will be too much, basically a solid color. And I kind of like this slight inconsistency inside my brush strokes. So yeah, just like this. I can always clean up the outside if I need to. But for now, yeah, I think this looks fine. I have to make sure to always lift, like if I just stay in one stroke, it just does the same stroke multiple times. And because I have opacity selected, I can layer them on top of each other and then have multiple... I think, do you hear that? You can somewhat hear it. Yeah, the more I lift the pen, the more I get these multiple almost layers of color. I'm gonna worry about the lips later on. With the face being red, I don't know what the lips are gonna be. I think lips are usually fine with a slightly darker or slightly lighter skin color. So I'm gonna experiment there a little bit. Usually slightly darker, but then obviously if you have very dark skin color already, then slightly lighter might be reasonable. I'm gonna have to feel that out a little bit. I don't have to worry too much about, I guess, crossing into the outside areas, because I will be able to clean those up anyway. I kind of want to follow the lines of the face a little bit. Of making sure that I'm... Maybe I should have done that with the rest as well. Maybe that's a bit of an issue right now. I'm gonna see if I can fix it by just following the lines like this. Then up here, I'm gonna do the same way, follow the eyebrows. The eyebrows are just very dark at the moment, and I think I'm gonna keep them that way. The hairs basically keep them as black lines, small black lines. Yeah, I think if I follow the general face or general direction of the face, it's gonna be fine. And for the background, I might have to, I guess, either choose white or black. Don't yet know which one, but that way I can get rid of the slightly, I guess, blue feel that's currently in there. I'm gonna paint some of the appendages with this as well. Or some of the, I guess, tentacly bits and bobs. So something like this. And then we can have a nice, nice tentacle. Oh, it's gonna be a bit of an issue that these are also the same color. Maybe they're not. Maybe they are not the same color. Maybe only everything that is directly connected to the rest of the face is the same color. I specifically made these kind of bases for these tentacles, so maybe that means they are a different color. And I can always go in with a different color and do at least some of the shading. I don't know if this is the smartest way to color something. I don't know if there's a technique that is maybe more ideal or more widely used. But I guess I will figure that one out eventually. But as for now, I'm quite happy with this. I guess a lot more rudimentary approach. It's very similar to just drawing something on paper. Maybe not with a with watercolors or something, more like an edding or a colored pencil. All right. Oh yeah, mostly fine-ish. Let's see if I can quickly finish the rest of it, and then I can go back to maybe maybe I'm gonna do a different color pass with a slightly different color later on. And once again, everything I'm going over the line with is fine for now. I will be able to change that as I go on. Like everything outside will have to be colored anyway, so I can just leave it as is and then add that in once I change the color of the outside areas. I just have to make sure that I follow the, I guess, natural face lines here, which I don't know where they are. I just don't know that I should probably go around the eyes like this. And then follow the nose like this. That way the color strokes that like the visible color strokes that I have are always going to be in line with what you would expect with the face. I don't know. Don't know about the nose part here. I guess the rest should kind of curve into the nose. And then, yeah, I think I'm just going to color the entire lips as well. And then I can slowly figure out later what color I actually want that to be. Again, technique-wise, I'm not sure if this is a real technique. Or if there's just a well-known, much better way to do this. But I'm gonna stick with it for now. Alright. Almost beautiful. I have to make sure that I'm not in some areas then making things a lot more rushed than I did in other areas. Like I think here right now I have a lot of blue stripes still left. I guess it's fine if the background is more white, and I might change that later on. For now I just have to make sure that at least somewhat even. Alright, time for the lips area. I didn't add the small dimple below the lips. I think I tried that out yesterday when I was muted anyway, so the stream is gone forever. I don't know if the small dimple really works all that well on this. I think it kind of cutifies it a lot, but I don't know if I want this to be all that cutified. I'm getting a little bit tired of filling in the background like this. Luckily now the next few elements are going to be a lot smaller and I can be a lot more I guess not extra with the colors I use, but I can play around a little bit more. Alright, chin should be somewhat done. I think there are still some areas here that need another few layers of color. So maybe like this. Ooh, perfect. It's weird because I feel like when I'm streaming this, even though I guess nobody is watching, I still feel a lot more confident in what I'm drawing because I'm looking at it from the perspective of not me being overly critical of every single line and being like, no, I have to draw this entire thing again. This is awful, this looks horrendous. But instead I'm looking at it like I'm just deciding that I want things to be, I want to take things a little bit more slowly. And that I'm gonna be maybe fine with elements that I add later on. Oh, very concentric circles here. I don't really know if faces are necessarily shaped like this. But I guess we have the cheeks here, so maybe that's the cheek circle. And then from the nose on, that's kind of this. Yeah, these lines. think I read a few years ago that humans have lines or stripes that are not necessarily visible on the naked eye, but if you then look at the texture of skin, there are actual stripes and shapes there. I don't know if it was something that's only visible under like very specific light conditions where you have to do like, oh, and maybe it's infrared lighting or something like that. I'd have to look that up again. This one definitely has lines. Not necessarily correct lines. All right. Basically done. There are a few areas that are maybe a little... Oh, I forgot the... Not the ear, but the outside tentacle here. But the ear might as well get another run. Where is it? It's this one here. You are also part of the face color. Oh, I'm running out of space with the drawing tablet here. So just like this. All right, yeah, this. I think I'm happy with the color for the face I chose. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit in a moment and just look at it from afar. Oh yeah, the throat. That part is part of the face. Or part of the face skin color technically. So let me... Oh. Let me add another layer of color here. At least the direction of color in this area is fairly clear. I'm going down. I think I'm still thinking about how I should do the shading, because obviously I could do multiple passes of black in a layer above it with fairly low transparency to start with, and then going more opaque, I guess, the more passes I do. But then that's going to be the issue of if I do that everywhere, then I have always black as the darker color, but maybe somewhere there should be, I don't know, a different non-black version. Let me look at my... Oh yeah, I think all this drawing lines in one direction is slowly eating away at the tip of this e-pencil. E-pen. The pencil for my drawing tablet, but I think I have different tips available to me, so it's not going to be a huge issue. If these become unusable, I can just replace them. Alright. I think this looks wild. I think this looks really cool. I really like this. Good. Lips next. I'm gonna stay in the same layer. I'm gonna change the size a little bit again, going back to 30. Right. Let's try this out with brighter. Let's see if a lighter red works as a color for the lips. And because I don't have clear lines as a separation here, I kind of have to assume what the... I think I'm just gonna, for now, do a straight line down and see if this works for the color of the lips. I think it's fine. They're gonna look very pinkish because obviously I'm using red and then I'm lightening it up a little bit. But I think this pinkish color is fine for now. I have to make a lot more passes with different colors here, because currently it looks very, very edding-y. Or like I used a felt tip pen to kind of draw this, and obviously that's not the intended effect. I'm gonna have to try something for the edges in a second. But first I want to get the rest of it somewhat consistent. Like, it doesn't need to get full coverage because I'm gonna go a little bit lighter anyway. Not that much lighter, just a little bit. To make sure that at least the very corners are strong with that. And then kind of curve it around. Alright, so far I'm happy with this color choice. I think you can kind of start seeing the actual shape of the lips, which is nice. I kind of have to relax my eyes a little bit to make it work more as a, I guess, as I suppose it's supposed to be. Yeah, I don't want to go too far into the corners. Maybe up there it's a little bit too much. I want the lighter color that I used earlier to kind of dominate there. I think I'm gonna do one more run with a slightly even more light pink. But this time I can focus on just the top area of the lip. And I guess the top area of the bottom lip. Not too far in as well with the bottom lip, because in there's going to be a little bit of shadow again. So this is kind of the highlighting pass I'm making. So I don't need to do an additional one here. But I'm kind of trying to add a little bit of volume to the lips. I think this is almost good. I'm gonna do one more pass with an even lighter pink. And this time just really accentuating only very few elements. I guess I'm a bit too far into the corner there. So I want to really stay on, I guess, this area of the lip. I don't know if I like this. Maybe darker is better. Can I make this darker? Just to see. Hue saturation. And I want it... Like, obviously this is not going to be the way it's... No, maybe this is the way it's going to look like. Maybe this is fine. Yeah, I think I much preferred going darker than lighter. Can I save this, or do I have to redraw it? Oh, definitely not changing the hue. Oh, let me try the same thing again. So, saturation. If I make it more saturated, but then darker. I think this darkness is kind of nice. Saturation wise, I'm gonna stay here. And then for the corners, I was gonna try to do something weird anyway. Let me get a slightly larger eraser. Maybe a 100 is the right size. And do... Oh, I have to make sure to not go too far into that. Does this work? Or does it look weird? No, it looks weird. Okay, I think I have to redo that because none of the ways I'm doing it look nice. So let me go back to the... Actually, let me do the reset the eraser before I forget about it. I think this is the right eraser. Oh, I'm at the pen already. So eraser, I want just a plain full-size eraser. And pen-wise, I'm gonna go back to my 46. All right. Second try with the lips. Yeah, I think with more brightness, they'll just look kind of off. So I'm gonna do a darker version instead. I'm gonna start very like lightly at the corners here. I have to want to make sure that the that the inside is kind of I guess change towards the inside is very slight. The change towards the lip color, I guess. Yeah, and already I like this one a lot more than the right one. The right one looks very makeup-like and not very natural. And I think with this kind of expression and personality, I think I prefer a more natural looking makeup style here as well. I'm probably not going to color the entire thing today. I'm going to stop at some point after finishing with the lips, or with the face, I assume. I'm going to see if there are other areas that also need work done. Yeah, okay, this is a decent start. I'm going to have to... I don't really know if I want this. No, I think if I make it too even lined, it's looking a little bit odd. So yeah, this is fine. I hope from far away it looks less sudden with the start towards the darker lip color. If it doesn't, I'm gonna have to do another run and go over it with a little bit more, with an even lighter color to kind of make the move into the lip a little bit more obvious. I was kind of trying to look at my camera there to see if how the looks look with me. I guess you have a very sudden change in color there. It's not very gradual. So maybe this is also fine. I'm gonna feel it out. I'm gonna see what it looks like, and then I'm just gonna do slight changes if I feel like I need to. All right. Second pass done. I'm gonna just slowly become darker and darker, and because I want to highlight some areas, I'm gonna focus this darker shade more on the, I guess, center area. So kind of like here. And in the bottom, obviously the bottom part of the lip has to be fairly dark. And towards the teeth, because that's the inside of the mouth, that's also going to be fairly dark. Then we'll have a more open area in the middle, where the highlight's supposed to be. So instead of highlighting, I'm just not low lighting. Alright, next color, even darker. I guess the corner of the mouth, or the area where the two lips converge, or at least lie on top of each other, should always be a little bit darker. And then this light area down here, that's fine. And here I can also make it a little bit darker like that. I think like that it's actually starting to look fine, even with the change of how the lips fall together. Yeah, kind of like this. Let's do it even darker once, and then I think the lips are kind of done. So this one I just want to do the very edges, obviously more towards the bottom part of the lip, but here in the top also the kind of corner areas, maybe centered here, more towards the center. Alright, yeah, this I like a lot more. I have to make sure to not make it too plastic, otherwise it's gonna be look odd compared to the rest of the face. And yeah, I think I like this version. Now back to white. I think the inside of the mouth is gonna, or the teeth are gonna be fairly easy because I just want white. I'm gonna do a second run here just to make sure that it's white. It's gonna be a bit white, a bit very white, a bit bright, I guess. But that's probably fine. Yeah, I think for now that's a really nice start. I'm gonna do more of the coloring next time. I'm gonna stop while I'm here. I guess eye-wise I could already start shading a little bit with the same color of the lips. Like if I did a pass like this. That's probably... Maybe I'm not stopping right now. Maybe I'm doing a little bit of eye color first. Maybe I have to think about that. Yeah, I'll have to think about that. Currently that looks slightly off. I'm just gonna get rid of it. And I'm gonna continue next time. Thank you for watching. I hope this was enjoyable to watch. I'm sorry about the missing, I guess, step in the middle where I was unable to activate my microphone for the entire stream and forgot. So yeah, I might be back at some point later with a little bit of playing game, but outside of that, thank you for watching. Have a good day. Bye bye.